Okay, hello there. So today I want to talk about my study framework. Okay, so my study framework. Okay, so why did I come up with this framework? I came up with this framework because I realized that students struggle um, to grasp concepts. Sorry, not because they don't study, right? They do study, but they just don't know how to study. Okay, so I realized that a lot of students don't have a framework for studying. Okay, so I thought, um, why don't I share my study framework? Maybe this can be useful to someone out there. Okay, so what's the first step in this framework? So, anytime you get your syllabus, what you will do is you go through the topics. Okay, so now with the topics, you want to find the big picture, okay, of each topic. Okay, so now why find the big picture? Okay, I realized that students need to find the big picture of each topic because sometimes they mix up the concept. Um, you often get students just, digging in the literature or the textbooks without having a sense of what they are doing, okay, or what the topic they are digging in is all about. So you need a big picture, or what I like to call a bird's eye view first. Okay, now the next step in this framework is to search for precision level understanding. Okay, why precision level understanding? Okay, this is my personal favorite because this is how I set my questions. Okay, so when you come to the university, right, you are no longer learning on the surface. Okay, you need deep understanding of whatever it is you are learning. Okay, and that is how most of your assessments are engineered or are designed, right? They test you to see if you understand it at a deeper level and if you can be precise about it. Okay, so an example I would use to explain why precision level understanding is important is because, let's say, you have high blood pressure. Okay, so I'm going into medicine here. And as a doctor, you need to prescribe amlodipine. Okay, precision level is important here because if you don't if you are not precise about your definition between, let's say, milligrams and grams, okay, and let's say you were taught in school that, well, when the patient if you realize the patient has, a certain high blood pressure, you give them, say, 5 milligrams. Okay, so if you have, sloppy about, oh, it's grams, milligrams is, grams, or kilograms. So if you are not precise about whether it's what milligrams, kilograms, or whatever unit of measurement it is, you could end up giving the patient a certain dosage that could hurt them, okay, or make them feel worse, okay, than they came in. Okay, so that's why precision level understanding is important. Okay, and that is how I set my question. So this is my personal favorite. Okay, the third one is common. The third one is common misconceptions. Okay. All right. So common misconceptions is essentially when precision fails. Okay. So once again, this is how I like to set my questions. Okay. So I'm going to switch from medicine to economics. Okay. So because that's my field. Okay. So one common misconception in economics is scarcity is the same as poverty. Okay, which is wrong. Scarcity is simply a situation where your resources are limited. Okay, let's just put it that way. And then poverty is a situation where you don't have enough resources to live up to a certain, standard of living. Okay, we can put it that way. So they are not the same thing. Okay, so common misconception is essentially saying what happens when precision fails. Okay, so you've got the big picture, you've got precision level understanding, and then you have what's common misconceptions. Okay, which is essentially what happens when precision fails. Okay, and then the final thing is look out for recurring patterns across the topics. Okay. Okay, so this is a nice one. I believe you would not just for economics, you would also find recurring patterns across topics for other subjects as well. Okay, so for economics, some of the recurring patterns you see will be, say, marginal analysis. Okay, so where you have to compare marginal benefits to marginal cost. Another recurring pattern you would see is, say, elasticity. Okay, so after you study demand and supply, you study elasticity, and then you would encounter elasticity when you talk about the labor market. Okay, so these are just some examples. Okay, so if you use this framework, you should excel in your exams. Yeah, so I wish you the best. Thank you.